Alright guys, back at it again, another video. I take some time off, had a big event at work, took a lot of my time, so I'm back now. We're going to talk about how to succeed. Now, I don't mean money, I don't mean making all this extra cash. I mean being happy with what you do. And with that, we have to talk about, do you love what you do? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you excited to get up and go to work? Or if you work for yourself, are you excited to take new clients? And also, what is pushing you to make the more progress or to make better implements in your activity, which would lead you to do better in your job? So for instance, are you looking at YouTube video? Are you researching? Are you trial and error? There's so many videos I've done that I have completely screwed up. I mean, I wrecked them. But during that time, I actually learned a lot of what I did wrong. And for instance, you might shoot a video with the wrong frame rate, or you think slow motion is just cool with higher frame rates and etc, etc. But there's so much that goes into it that leads up to the perfect shot. And most of us would agree who do this type of work, there is no perfect shot. You're always going to say there's something better that you could have done. And leading into that, the segue is research. Watch YouTube videos. Peter McKinnon's one that I really like. I watch him all the time. It's on YouTube. Really invest in your free time if you're not working into learning. Blog post, podcast, anything you can think of that relates to you. Just not even in the fact of your job, though, just creativity wise. Keep it moving. I always listen to podcasts now that have nothing to do with what I do, but it gives me an insight of how to approach a client maybe, or approach a situation that has that mentality that the podcast is relating to. Charitable work. I met a group people called Saving Kids Dreams, and just my interactions with them, without knowing my work, they like me as a person, and now they want to work with me. So learning how to talk and present yourself and be more approachable goes a long ways also with clients, because if you create an environment where people want to be around, they'll want to stick around. So you have leeway in projects, people that trust you and want to be around you. It's not always just, what can you do? Here's my price. Yes, jobs would be like that, cut and dry. I've done jobs where I don't even like what I was doing, but it's what the client wanted, so we gave it to him. But realistically, you need to be really open to outside the box. Outside the box. Really think about that. Just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean you can't make it work. Like for one, I'll probably never shoot a rap video with guns and violence. I just don't find myself doing that for the crowd. Now, when I shoot a rap video, yes, but you have to also have stipulations to what you would do, because creativity can be hindered by moral values, and that is where you get tricky. So the best thing to really incorporate into your work is your morals, and that will create clients that want to work with you based on who you are versus what you can do. And what you can do is also great, so they get double the exposure of you. And sometimes you might always feel like it just isn't for you, and if you feel that way, just stop. There's no point to do a video that you're not comfortable with. There's no point to shoot something you don't like, and that goes with anything in life. If you don't like something, no one's making you do it. Yes, you might have a job you hate, you might have something you don't want to do. You can always give up, but you have to always recognize there are consequences if you stop early, what that does to you financially, spiritually, etc, etc, etc. Now, back on topic of videography and what I do. You need to really be invested more into what you believe in, because that will reflect on your work. And when you can do that, that goes a really long ways. It really does. And that's what I've been doing recently. Studying, podcasts, learning, reading. And there's things that I don't necessarily understand how to do, but I'm gonna try until I get it right. And once you feel like you got it right, you can go back and watch the video again and be like, okay, that's what that means, that's what this means. My biggest issue is lighting. I'm not the greatest at lighting. I get the concept, I know what it means, I know what key lighting is, hair light, I know what all that stuff means. But in situational environments, say a dark studio or a dark environment you're shooting a video, I'm not the greatest at figuring out the lighting. I always find it easier to do post. I'll figure it out in post. But maybe that's something you're comfortable with. Maybe you want to figure it out then. So learn, experience. You're gonna mess up. I've messed up hundreds of times, but it got me where I am now. That's really the key, guys, is work outside your environment, your comfortability, but also keep your moral values straight. Read, watch, listen, get information around customers and clients that you don't even have yet, but understand what they're coming from, and that will give you a better approach to any project you do. Patience is huge. Some clients have no idea what they're talking about, but you do. And I did a video recently where I asked, what are we going for? And they said, you do what you think is best. And I have nothing to do with this company. I don't understand what they're really doing. I've never done it. So I just went with what I thought worked, and it ended up being what they wanted. And I did that because I researched the company, what they do, the behind the scenes, and I got a more approach of what I think would work. And it ended up being what they wanted, and now they want to work with me more. And that is how you approach it. Too many questions can be great, but they don't always have the answer, so they're giving you the same exact answer as in, you do what you gotta do, we trust you, this is what we're paying you for, we want you to do this. So always just be really cautious with not asking questions. Ask questions, and you will get what you need. And if you don't, trust yourself. Trust yourself in your better judgment. Trust yourself. Just because you trust yourself and you do amazing work that you think is good and they don't like it, doesn't mean you did wrong. It just means for this client, it wasn't what they wanted, but your work is still good. Don't base yourself off of a failed project or a bad situation with a company. It's really all about how you approach every situation that goes in life. So tune in next week. Hopefully I got a video up. I'm really busy, but we'll see how it goes. Subscribe, like. I'm gonna post all my videos on here soon. I hope to see you next week. Thanks, guys.